Hello again, Struck. Today I'm bringing you the first of series of builds dedicated to the various heroes of Dark Alliance, Dungeons and Dragons, the action RPG looter. This one is called Rainmaker and it's a Catti-Brie build. Tomorrow I will be probably making another one for another class, but today let's talk about Catti-Brie. Let's make it rain arrows from the sky. Let's have all that nice good AoE from Lobbed Arrows alongside the charged shot arrows when the AoE is not that needed. Keep in mind, alongside this I usually use healing when solo or resurrection when in a team, and then I use the falling arrows from the sky that buff our crit chance and our allies crit chance and crit damage. First, let's talk about the abilities I use for this build. When I'm playing in a team, I use Resurrection. When I'm playing solo, obviously this is useless, and then I replace Resurrection with Healing Spirit, which is pretty nice to keep you kind of face tanking for a few seconds, being able to soak up some of the damage. Now, the second choice, other than the Healing and Resurrection, is Heartseeker Volley. You want this one so you can give precision strikes and improved critical. Improved critical improves the critical damage. Precision strikes improves the critical chance of you or any allies that stand in the area. I would say stick to those, use them. Obviously you might end up reworking them and using Ensnaring Strike if you feel like it, but that's my pick. Now let's talk about the suggested gear. First, let's talk about sets. There is one major set for this build and it's the Goblin Reaper set. You want 5 pieces so you can get the 8 and 12% crit chance bonus, which is 20% crit chance. Then you would want crit chance in 4 more pieces of equipment, which are the ring, the necklace, the helmet and the quiver. If you have around 20%, which is kind of what you can get with a legendary rank 5 item, you should have 100% crit chance without relying on dexterity. I made the biggest mistake when leveling up to put points into dexterity, to max out my dexterity, which again gives you 0.5 crit chance and 0.5 crit damage per point invested, so pretty useless if you ask me, when you can put those points into con or int or even charisma for ultimate. This one for cooldowns and elemental damage, this one obviously for stamina again, max stamina and hit points. More about attributes later though. So yeah, 5 pieces Goblin Reaper, it doesn't matter which 5 pieces, as long as you have 5. Now next you want 3 pieces of one of the following: Tundra, Explorer, for 5% physical damage bonus. If you say, okay, it's only 5%, I don't need it, then another great choice would be Battle Hammer. Battle Hammer instead of Tundra will be a great choice to give you a 10% cooldown reduction. I'm trying to show you where it is. I think it's here somewhere. Battle Hammer, Battle Hammer. I kind of lost it, but it's 10% cooldown reduction. That's what the Battle Hammer does, this one. So 10% cooldown reduction or 5% physical damage. And alternative choice would be Underdark Camo Quiver. Since we'll be getting 100% crit chance when min-maxed, that means 10% with every attack to apply poisoned, the poisoned condition. A little bit of extra DPS, I don't think it's great. I think the damage over time is very underwhelming in this game when you move to the highest content. So I still would prefer the extra cooldown from the Battle Hammer personally myself. So let's talk about rows. You want on the quiver strength and crit chance, and the rest would be fewers. I would say maybe constitution would be nice, intelligence would be nice, and charisma would be nice as fewers. On the bow you would want 2 times flat elemental damage, ideally cold or lightning, so you can freeze or shock enemies so they don't attack you as much. Very useful when you're sewing, very useful when you're in a team. Your team would love you when you're freezing or shocking enemies. Then you want, after those 2 types of cold damage, that's 2 affixes in one, you have 2 more. 2 more, in those 2 more I would say put conditioned penetration so you can freeze more often. And if you can get 2 times conditioned penetration, then take conditioned and armor or conditioned and elemental penetration. On the helmet, you would want 2 times crit damage, 1 time crit chance, and then you have 1 more affix you can fill up to you with whatever. Now on the bracers, I would suggest something like this: 2 times maximum hit points, 2 times stamina cost reduction. Very useful. So you can so you have to reload less often. So you have to give your stamina cooldown less often. Now, Goblin Reaper, not the chest guard. On the chest guard, you want maximum stamina twice, maximum hit points twice. That's what I would put. Some people could put some other things, but I think this is a perfect way for this build to get it. Here, I would put stamina again twice and maximum stamina twice. But you might wanna mix and match with some of the other things that can roll. I still think it would be best to go that way. Now for the goblin, for the necklace, you would want crit chance once, you would want maximum stamina once, you would want ultimate charge once, and then for the final one, maybe 1 penetration or maybe stamina again. We already should have enough stamina again if we sacrifice the one from here. So getting some penetration on the necklace would be a nice choice, or HP. HP is also a good choice. Now on the ring you would want crit chance once. You would want probably hit points once. Then I would say something like, I'm not sure if conditioned penetration can roll here. It doesn't seem like it. Conditioned resistance does. So maybe getting something like me, armor penetration, elemental penetration, crit chance, max hit points is great. If you can get double the hit points and sacrifice the elemental penetration, it's not gonna be bad. And that pretty much sums up the gear that I recommend for this build. Now what's left to talk about are the attribute points. As I mentioned, I made a mistake and put points into decks, so ideally if I could respec, I hope the developers add a respec system soon that maybe costs 50 or 100,000 gold coins, reasonable price. If you ask me, I would say max out strength, then max out intelligence, and then put the rest either into constitution or charisma, or maybe even max out strength, max out con, and then put the rest into intelligence. I would say intelligence for elemental damage and cooldown is my preferred choice alongside strength to max out, and then the rest of the points I would probably put into con and charisma, or just con or just charisma. I would do some experimentation. Right now my stamina is fine, so probably charisma would be more useful to get that ultimate, but if you think you would rather get more HP, then con instead of charisma is the good choice there. As I mentioned, you can get max crit chance without putting points into decks as long as you have 4 pieces of equipment with crit chance and you have 5 pieces of Goblin Reaper equipped. That pretty much sums up everything. Next you're gonna see some more gameplay footage. Now let's show you more of the build and talk about how I use it. Keep in mind, when using this charged arrow, this might happen what you're seeing right now. Cast it once and then it drains all of your stamina, half of your stamina when the stamina is exhausted. You can prevent this problem by having enough maximum stamina and stamina cost reduction. You want to be able to cast the arrow twice before the stamina needs to regenerate. This is a perfect example of what happens when you don't have this. So keeping in mind you need probably around 3.78 thousand stamina and some serious stamina reduction. The more you have of maximum stamina and stamina cost reduction, the better. Now obviously when you're in the camp it looks different. When you're in the camp it looks like that. And keep in mind, we're not using just Lobbed Arrow, but Lobbed Arrow you perform with holding backwards and G. That means eventually you would keep getting further and further away from the enemy and you would have to get closer to the enemy every now and then. The other thing that you could use is this arrow, the one from your ability, and once you get inside it, it buffs your crit chance and crit damage. And another thing that's useful to use is charged arrows, which is on PC for me holding control and then holding right click and releasing when ready. And the ultimate that you just saw is pretty nice as well to use every now and then when ready. To get notified when I upload more content for this game or other games like this one, which would be Wooters of all varieties, isometric, third-person aRPGs, water shooters and all sorts of wooters like that. You could subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button to not miss out on my content updates. And optionally, you can even join as a member of the Struck Club on YouTube as a channel member to get access to exclusive perks such as special emotes custom made by me, special badges custom made by me that represents how many months you have been a member for, as well as opt-in of editing tutorials that I can give for Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, as well as shoutouts and things like that. And I would like to use this part of the video to thank all my YouTube members and Twitch subscribers. Thank you for supporting the channel and keeping me going. Thank you also for watching this video, everyone. Keep it cool, Struck Club. Until next time, and goodbye.